right? 2017 and 2016 one. So I'm not going to discuss this in the way that I have discussed the 2019 and 18 one, because I already have your answers, right? I already have your answers. Based on your answers, I will discuss the 2017 as well as the 2016 one. Right. 2017, question number 1. 2017, question number 1. We need to simplify this given expression, right? So using the laws of indices, darshaka niti පාවිච්චි කරලා මෙන්න මේක සුළු කරන්න තියෙනවා. මේ ප්‍රකාශනය සුළු කරන්න තියෙනවා. Right. So I have this one. If I express something like this, right, square root of x, and if I need to express this as a power value, so this is what? Square root of x. Instead of representing this like square root of x, I need to express the same using a power value. මට x के බලාගයක් විදියට ඕක represent කරන්න ඕන. So what should be the answer then? What should be the answer? What? Chatura, what should be the answer? Square root of x. Square root of x. Yes. Right? X to the power 1 over 2. X to the power 1 over 2. So here, what is the invisible power value? Inside here, inside this root, what is the invisible power value? That is 1. So whatever the power value inside, we need to divide by the root value outside. Here we have written nothing here. Nothing means what? So here, yes, that is 2, right? So it should be x to the power 1 over 2. X to the power 1 over 2. Then this is what? Power of a power, right? Power of a power. Yes, x to the power, right? Square root of x, we can express like x to the power 1 over 2 to the power 5, right? This one, fifth root of x. Fifth root of x. How can we express the same as a power value? Power value inside, right? Power value inside here. What is the power value? That is again 1. Written nothing here means the power value is 1. Over, now what is the root value? Root value outside is what? 5. So it should be x to the power 1 over 5. X to the power 1 over 5, right? See here. X to the power 1 over 5. Then divide by third root of x. X වල තුන්වෙනි මූලය. මේක power value එකක් විදියට කිව්වොත් කොහමද? X to the power 1 over 3. X බල 3න් එකයි. Right? X to the power 1 over 3 to the power 2. Right. So we have converted this square root and root values as power values. Power values විදියට අපි දාගත්තා. Then we need to remove this bracket. We need to get rid of this bracket. මේ brackets ටික අයින් කරගන්න ඕන. Right? So it is as a power of a power. X to the power this to the power 5. X to the power this to the power 3. X to the power 1 over 3 to the power 2. So it is as a power of a power. So we need to get rid of this brackets. So how can we get rid of this bracket? කොහොමද brackets අයින් කරගන්නේ? Whatever the power value inside the bracket, we need to multiply by the power value outside the bracket. Right? ඇතුලේ තියෙන power value එකයි එළියේ තියෙන power value එකයි ඉම්පැක්ට් කරන්න ඕනේ. වැඩි කරන්න ඕනේ. So 5 into half, 5 into half, what it should be? That is 2.5. That is 2.5. So here it should be x to the power 2.5. What about this one? 3 into 1 over 5, right? 3 into 1 over 5. What should be the answer? 3 into 1 over 5. What? 3 into 1 over 5. It means 3 divided by 5. It should be what? 0.6. 0.6. Here, 1 over 3 into 2. 1 over 3 into 2. Right? 1 over 3 into 2. What it should be? Yes, that is 0.66. 0.66. Right? Then we can have this one. X to the power 2.5 into x to the power 0.6 divided by x to the power 0.66. Then what? Here look, base is the same and here we have multiplication. Base value එක සමානයි, multiplication එක තියෙන්නේ. එහෙමනම් අපිට මොකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන? We should able to add these power values. We should able to add these power values. So 2.5 plus 0.6, that should be what? 3.1. 3.1. And here divided by x to the power 0.66. X to the power 0.66. Now see. Now what? Again the base value is the same, but this time what we have? We have the division. Base value එක සමානයි. දැන් තියෙන්නේ බෙදීම. එහෙනම් මොකද කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ? We should able to deduct these power values. Right? We can deduct these power values. 3.1 minus 0.66. The answer should be what? The final answer should be x to the power 2.44. X to the power 2.44. Right? X to the power 2.44. The power 2.44. So that is from rules of indices. Your knowledge on rules of indices have been tested on in question number 1, part 1. If you got that one correct, right, give 4 marks. If you got the answer as x to the power 2.44, give 2 marks. Sorry, not 2 marks, 4 marks. 4. Then, part 2. Using difference of two squares. Using difference of two squares. Varga dekaka antaraya pavichchi karala. Find the value of 99.97 into 100.03. 99.97 into 100.03. How can we do that? Yes, correct. Right. 99.97 can be expressed as how? Can be expressed as how? 100 minus 0.03. අපි 99.97 කියන එකම කියන්න පුළුවන් කොහමද? 100 අඩු කිරීම 0.03. This one 100.03 we can express as 100 plus 0.03. 99.97 we expressed as 100 minus 0.03. 100.03 we can express as 100 plus 0.03. Now by looking at these two, right, what can you see? මෙන්න මෙයා දැක්කම මොකක් හරි එකක් ඔලුවට එන්න ඕන. මොකක්ද? C A minus B into A plus B. A minus B into A plus B. ඒ වගේ එතන 100 minus 0.03 into 100 plus 0.03. Right. අපි A කියන value එක 100 කියලා ගත්තොත් B කියන value එක 0.03 කියලා ගත්තොත් C A minus B into A plus B. So this is what then? Difference of two squares. What are those two squares? 100 squared minus 0.03 squared. 100 squared minus 0.03 squared. See, right? Is this answer correct? Yes, the final answer should be 10,000 or 9,999.99 something. But here still the answer is wrong. Why? Here it should be what? 0.03, not 0.00. 0.00 near the thing. Yes, right? So this answer is wrong. Yes, the final answer should be 10,000. That is correct. But here the focus will be on here. Whether you have correctly expressed it as a difference of two squares. හරියට ඔයායක වර්ග දෙකක අන්තරයක් විදිහට පෙන්නලා තියෙනවද? Here you know the stuff, right? You know how to do this, but this is right. So you need to be careful on these aspects. ඔන්නෝක තමයි maths fail වෙන්න ගොඩක් අය fail වෙන්න හේතුව. දන්නව කොහොමද කරන්න කියලා. හැබැයි when it comes to the execution, there are these kinds of minor mistakes which will lose, right, marks. ලකුණු එක දෙක නෙමෙයි ඔය වගේ තැනක් කරලා දාම gediya පිටින් ඔක්කොම ටික නැති වෙලා යනවා. Okay, so if you have expressed the answer as 100 squared minus 0.03 squared, right? Here, the power value difference of two squares වර්ග දෙකක අතරේ මෙන්න c වර්ගය මෙතන තියෙන ගානෙත් මොකක් වෙන්න ඕනද? වර්ගය වෙන්න ඕන. Square. So it should be 0.03 squared. 0.03 වර්ගය. Right? Okay. So that is part 2. If you got it correct, allocate 4 marks. Right? You 4 marks. Then part 3. If x plus y equals 7 and x into y equals 12, then find the amount of x squared plus y squared. They have given us two information. X plus y value is given as 7 and the multiplication of these two variables xy value is given as 12. By using these two information, what we need to find? We need to find the value of x squared plus y squared. X squared plus y squared. Very good, right? So this should be the approach. See here, x plus y. Once we make it whole squared, x plus y කියන එකේ වර්ගය ගත්තොතින් ඒක කීයට සමාන වෙන්න ඕනද? 7 වර්ගයට සමාන වෙන්න ඕන. Right? This is exactly the correct approach. X plus y, the whole squared, should be equals to 7 squared. Then we'll expand this one, the left hand side. Once we expand this left hand side, මෙන්න මෙයාව expand කළොතින් කොහොමද එන්නේ? Here we have two terms, right? The whole square. So how can we expand this one? First, we need to consider the square of the first term. First term is x. So square of x, that is x squared. X squared. Then first term into second term into 2. First term into second term, it means x into y, that is xy. Xy into 2, that is 2xy. 2xy. Then the square of the last term is y. Y squared. Y squared. So once we expand it, we'll get what? X squared plus 2xy plus y squared equals to 49. right, equals to 49. Right. Then අපිට ඕන එක්කෙනා මෙතන පේන්න ඉන්නවා. අපිට ඕන කවුද? We need to get this one, x squared plus y squared. Right? For that, what we need to do? මෙන්න මෙයා ඉන්නවා බැරි එකක් විදියට. This one. So we need to take this plus 2xy to the other side. Then plus will become minus. So it should be 49 minus what? 2 into x into y. 2xy. X squared plus y squared equals to 49 minus 2xy. Right? 49 minus 2xy. We know the xy value. See here, they have given this. Xy value is 12. So 2 into xy, 2 into 12 means what? 2 into 12, 24. So 49 minus 24, x squared plus y squared should be equals to 25. 25 should be the final answer. Right? For part 3, the final answer should be 25. If you got this one correct, then again give 4 marks. 4 marks. Right. Okay, the answer should be 25. Since you have discussed these things as a group, I think you are okay with this, right? Then we'll move to part 4. But it says express 128 using base 8. Right? Express 128 using base 8. How can we do that? This is from which area? Syllabus එකේ මොන area එකෙන්ද ඔය අහලා තියෙන්නේ? Yes, using logarithm. 128, right? 128 is not equals to 8. So this is mathematically wrong. So this should be equals to 8 to the power something. Right? This should be equals to 8 to the power something. Right? So that something we can find using logarithm. Using logarithm. Right. So I will take it like this, part 4. Express 128 using base 8. 128 should be equals to 8 to the power something. 8 to the power something. Right? So how can we find this something value? අපිට කොහොමද මේ x value එක power value එක හොයාගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ? For that we need to apply what? Logarithms, right? So here log of 128 equals log of 8 to the power x. Log of 8 to the power x. Then what? Using the rules of logarithm, what we can do, if it is like this, we can take this power value to the front. Log වල අපි මෙන් power value එකක් විදිහට නම් number එක නැත්නම් අපි argument එක represent වෙලා තියෙන්නේ අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕන මොකක් කරන්නද? Power value එක ඉස්සරහට අරන් එන්න. So here the power value is x. So I will bring it to the front. X into log of 8. X into log of 8. Then what you need to do? අපිට x නේ හොයාගන්න ඕන. මේ නොදන්න value එක නේ හොයාගන්න ඕන. So divide both sides by log 8. Divide both sides by log 8. Then this one to this one we can cancel. We will get the x value as what? Directly from the calculator you can find log of 128 divide by log of 8. right? It should be 2.33. 2.33, or else we can express it as 7/3. 7/3. 7/3. So how we can represent 128 using base 8? 128 equals 8 to the power 7/3. 8 to the power 7/3, or 2.33. Yes, 2.3. This is also correct. This is correct. But this is what is being expected. This is what is being expected from you. Right? Base 8 filling 128 equals 8 to the power 7/3. Yes, 128 to the base 8 equals 2.33. Correct. 4 marks. Then part 5. This kind of a sum we have already done, right? But it says divide 5,670 among Nimal, Kamal and Sunil. 5670ක් තියෙනවා මේක තුන් දෙනෙක් අතර බෙදන්න තියෙන්නේ. Nimal, Kamal and Sunil. Such that Kamal gets twice the amount that Nimal gets. Kamal gets twice the amount that Nimal gets. Nimalට මොකක් හරි ගාණක් ලැබෙනවද ඒ වගේ දෙගුණයක් කාට ලැබෙනවා කියලාද කියන්නේ? Kamal. Kamal will get twice the amount that Nimal gets. Right? If Nimal gets 100, Kamal should get 200. If Nimal gets 500, Kamal should get 1,000. If Nimal gets 1,000, Kamal should get 2,000. If Nimal gets 100,000, Kamal should get 200,000. Always twice. And what it further says, Sunil gets 3 times the amount that Kamal gets. Kamalට ලැබෙන ගාන වගේ 3 ගුණයක් කාට ලැබෙනවද? Sunilට ලැබෙනවා. Right? Sunil gets 3 times the amount that Kamal gets. ඒකට Kamalට 1000ක් ලැබුණා කියලා කියන්නේ Sunilට ඒ වගේ 3 ගුණයක් 3000. So we need to find the amount received by each of these individuals, Nimal, Kamal and Sunil. Yes, Nimal, Kamal and Sunil, we need to divide this 5,670. Kamal gets twice the amount that Nimal gets. If Nimal gets an amount called X, Kamal should get twice of it. It means 2X. 2X. And Sunil should get 3 times what Kamal has got. Sunilට Kamalට ලැබුණා වගේ 3 ගුණයක් ලැබෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ වගේ 3 ගුණයක්. 2x වගේ 3 ගුණයක් කියලා කියන්නේ කීයද? 6x. 6x. Right? So x plus 2x plus 3x should be equals to 5,670. Here, x plus 2x plus 6x means what? 9x. So 9x equals to 5,670. Right? We need to divide both sides by 9. Then we can get the x value as what? 630. අපි x කියලා දාගත්තේ කාට ලැබෙන ගානද? The amount received by Nimal. Nimalට ලැබෙන ගාන තමයි x කියලා දාගත්තේ. එහෙනම් මේ 630 ලැබෙන්නේ කාටද? That is the amount received by Nimal. Nimalට ලැබෙනවා 630. Right? Kamal gets 2x. So 2 into 630, that is 1,260. 1,260. Right? And finally Sunil, 6x. 6 into 630, that is 3,760. 90. Hope these answers are correct. Is it? See, is pathetic, right? Right? You know how to get this one. You know how to build this formula. You know how to simplify, and you know how to get this x value. And even you know how to get these values as well. But again, you have done a mistake. What is the mistake? Can others point out? Can others point out where is the mistake? මේ ගානේ මෙයාට full marks හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි හම්බ වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? කොතනද වැරදි? Yes, that should be 3,780. 3,780. 630 into 6. 6x ne? 6 into x. 6 into 630. It should be what? 3,780, not 90. Yes. Next, අපි මේක exam එකේ මේ ගාන ඇවිල්ලා මේම හදලා ගියාට පස්සේ අපි අර paper එක අපි mark කරනෝනේ මේ ප්‍රශ්නෙට අපිට මෙන්න මෙච්චරක් එනවා කියලා. මේකේ අපි ඉතින් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? අපි ලකුණු full marks අපි මේකට දාගන්නවා. මේක හරියට කර හරිනේ. procedure එක හරි අපිට හරියට x වලට answer එක ආවා. අනිත් values තුත් okay. Right? We think that we have done this sum completely and totally correct. But still there can be mistakes. That is why we have so many recorrections also. And so don't let these kinds of simple mistakes, right? This is very simple mistake. Amaruma track එක පයින්නවා. ලොකුම hurdle එක පනිනවා. අර පොඩි කලක කකුල පැටලිලා වැටෙනවා වගේ වැඩක්. මොන කරගන්න එපා. Okay. So that is question number 1. So if you got this answer correct, right? 630, 1 to 60 and 3,780. If you got these answers correct, give 4 marks. Right? Give 4 marks. If you got even one wrong, then allocate 0 for this time. Right? In the exam, the marks will be considered, but since we are in the practicing stage, give 0 marks. Then you will learn from the mistake. Right. So that is question number 1. Any issue here? Answering for question number 1? Anything that you need to clarify here? All right. Hope you are clear with question number 1. Then we'll move to question number 2. Question number 2. A person buys a lot of items. I think we have discussed this, right? A person buys a lot of items for 120,000 rupees. Bakhari, yeah, land ගන්නවා for 120,000. Not land, lot of items. මොනවා හරි items වගේක් ගන්නවා 1,20,000කට. He keeps 20 items for his use, and by selling the rest of items at 500 rupees per item, the cost of the lot was recovered. How many items did he buy? Yeah, items ගානක් ගන්නවා. Items ගාන කීයද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. That is what we need to find. ඒක තමයි අපිට හොයන්න තියෙන්නේ. අර මොකක් හරි ගන්න water bottles කියලා. Right? Yes, assume water bottles. On the water bottles මොකක් හරි ගානක් ගන්න. X number of items he bought. For 120,000. ගාන කීයද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ ටික ඔක්කොම ගන්න යාට කීයක් ගිහිලා තියෙනවද? 120,000. 1,20,000 ගිහිලා තියෙනවා. අර කියන දේවල් අර කියන items ටික ගන්න. අර කියන වතුර බෝතල් ටික ගන්න. He keeps 20 items for his use, and by selling the rest of the items, අර ගත්ත ඔක්කොම items වලින් එයා 20ක් තියා ගන්නවා එයාගේ personal use එකට. වතුර බෝතල් කීයක් හරි ගන්න නැති. ඒ ගත්ත වතුර බෝතල් වලින් වතුර බෝතල් 20ක් එයාගේ පෞද්ගලික පරිභෝජනයට එයා තියා ගන්නවා. right? He keeps 20 items for his use. And by selling the rest of the items, gatta ganing 20ක් එයා ගාව ඉතුරු ටික එයා විකුණනවා කීයක් ගානේද? එකක් 500ක් ගාන. 100ක් හරි 200ක් හරි 300ක් හරි ගන්න නැති ඒකෙන් 20ක් එයා තියා ගන්නවා ඉතුරු වෙන ටික එකක් 500 ගානේ විකුණනවා. එහෙම 500 ගානේ විකුණලා එයාගේ cost එක cover කරගන්නවා. Right? This person able to cover his cost of the lot was recovered. මෙන්න මේ cost එක recover කරගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ එයා 1,20,000 හොයනවා එකක් ඉතුරු ටික එකක් 500 ගානේ විකුණලා. ඉතුරු items එකක් 500 ගානේ විකුණලා එයා කීයක් හොයා ගන්නවද? 1,20,000. එයාගේ cost එක එයා recover කරගන්නවා. Right? So we need to find how many items did he buy. එයා එහෙමනම් items කීයක් initially purchase කරලා තියෙනවද? That is what we need to find. So what should be your approach? Right? Here we need to develop a formula. Right? We need to develop a formula to find the value of the number of items that he bought. All right. Student has not done. We'll go for another. Give me a second, I will open the answer of another student. Here we have question number 2. Question number 2, part 1. Here we have the answer. Yes, items he bought. That is what we need to find. Right? That value we don't know. So we'll assume it as X. ගතිපු items කීයක් ගත්තද කියලා අපි දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා අපි assume කරනවා මේක x කියලා. Right? His sales. He has kept 20 for his personal use and he has sold the rest of the items. එයාගේ use එකට එයා 20ක් තියාගෙන ඉතුරු ටික විකුණනවා. එතකොට කීයක් විකුණනවද? How many items does this person sell? කීයක් විකුණනවද? x කියලා item ගානක් ගත්තා. ඕකෙන් 20ක් අපි තියාගත්තා. ඉතුරු ටික විකුණනවා කියලා කියන්නේ x minus 20 තිබ්බ ගානේ 20ක් use එයාගේ personal use එකට තියාගෙන ඉතුරු ටික තමයි එයා විකුණන්නේ. So this much of items this person has sold. මෙන්න මෙච්චර items ගානක් ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා විකුණලා තියෙනවා. Right? 100ක් ගත්තනම් 20ක් තියාගෙන ඉතුරු ටික කියන්නේ 100 minus is here 80 80 sell කරලා තියෙනවා. X minus 20. So this is the number of sold items. Number of sold items. විකුණපු ඒකක ගන්න. Right. So then what it further says? ගාන තාම මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? By selling the remaining items at 5 rupees per item, the cost of the lot was recovered. මෙන්න මේ items ගාන එකක් කීය ගානද විකුණන්නේ? This much of units they have sold at 500 rupees each. එකක් 500 ගාන. එහෙම විකුණලා එයා මොකක් කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවද? එයාට එයාගේ cost එක recover කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. This person able to recover his cost. What was the cost? 120,000. 120,000. So x minus 20 into 500 should be equals to 120,000. We have developed a formula based on the given scenario. Right? Scenario එක base කරගෙන ඔන්න අපි formula එකක් develop කරලා ගත්තා. Remaining number of items he has sold at 500 rupees per item, and by selling, so he was able to recover his cost. His initial cost was 120,000. This should be the correct approach. Then we need to simplify this. We need to simplify. We need to get the value of X. How many items does this person has, right, purchased initially? So yes, first we need to divide both sides by 500. Then we will get the answer as 240. Then we need to take this minus 20 to the other side. It will become plus. So the final answer should be X equals 260. X equals 260. He has brought, right? This person has bought 260 items. ඒකක 260ක් එයා purchase කළා තියෙනවා. 260. If you got the answer as 260, right, then give 5 marks. 5 marks. Right. That is part 1. Are you okay with this? මේක තේරුණා නේද? Question number 2, part 1. Are you okay with that? Imalika, Kavindu, Chatura, Ashani. Right? Okay. Right. Part 2. Part 2. Product of two consecutive multiple of 7 is 1470. Product of two consecutive multiple of 7. Right. හතේ ගුණාකාර කොහොමද යන්නේ? 7 14 7 14 21 28 35 42 49. Likewise, those are the multiples of 7. And if we consider two consecutive multiples of 7, එක ළඟ තියෙන හතේ ගුණාකාර දෙකක් ගත්තොත් එක ළඟ තියෙන හතේ ගුණාකාර දෙකක් කියලා කියන්නේ 7 14. එහෙම නැත්නම් 28 35. එහෙම නැත්නම් 42 49. එහෙම නැත්නම් 14 21. ඔය වගේ එක ළඟ තියෙන multiple, right, එක ළඟ තියෙන හතේ ගුණාකාර දෙකක් වැඩි කළොතින් product of වැඩි කළොතින් අපිට answer එක කීයක් එන්න ඕනද? 1470. Product of two consecutive multiple of 7 is 1470. Using an equation, find two multiple of 7. So we need to develop a formula. We need to develop a formula to get these values, to get these two consecutive multiple values. How have you done that? Display. Here. Multiples of 7. If we assume the first multiple of 7 as x, then what should be the next one? Here, I will take it like this. And if we multiples of 7, it can be 7 and 14, 21 and 28, right? 35, 42. It can be something like this, or else 28, 35. So if we assume the first multiple of 7 as x, then what should be the second one? What should be the next one? Maybe හතට කීයක් එකතු වුණාමද 14 වෙන්නේ? තව 7ක් එකතු වුණා. 21 28 වෙන්න තව කීයක් එකතු වෙන්න ඕන? 7ක් එකතු වෙන්න ඕන. 35 to become 42, we need to add another 7. 28 to become 35, we need to add another 7. So x to become another multiple of 7, we need to add what? Another 7. So it should be what? X plus 7. X plus 7. So once we multiply these two, x into x plus 7, then the answer should be equals to 1470. 1470. Right? 1470. So now we can solve this one. Right? X into x, that is x squared. X into 7, that is plus 7x equals what? 1470. Take this 1470 also to this side, left hand side. Then it is x squared plus 7x minus 1470 equals 0. Then me මොකද්ද තියෙන්නේ? This is a quadratic equation. This is a quadratic equation. There are two methods. There are two ways. There are two approaches where we can solve quadratic equations. What are those two approaches? Actually, there are three approaches. Quadratic equation එකක් විසඳන්න අපි දැනට අපි ගාව තියෙන knowledge එක අපි විදි තුනක් දන්නවා. අපිට දොරවල් තුනක් තියෙනවා. ඔය දොරවල් තුනින්ම ඔය දොරවල් තුනම අරගෙන අපිට යන්න පුළුවන්. මොනවද මේ දොරවල් තුන? What are the three approaches? First, what? Using the quadratic formula. මතකද? What is the quadratic formula? Tell me what is the A value here? That is 1. B value? That is 7. C value? Minus 1470. Using the quadratic formula, x equals what? Minus b plus or minus b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. Using this quadratic formula, by applying, by substituting these a, b and c values, we can get the values of x. Or else, what is the second approach? Using factorization, right? Using factorization, we need to determine two numbers where once we added, we should get the value of b. Here in this case, b value is 7. And once we multiplied the same two numbers, we should get a into c value. Here in this case, it is what? 1 into this one, so that is minus 1470. So we need to determine what these two numbers should be. And then the term in the middle can be splitted using these two numbers. And then we need to couple them. And then right, by taking the common factor outside, and then later on by factorization, we can find we can get the values of x. That is the second approach. What is the third approach? Third approach is what? Using the cal, right? Using the cal. When it comes to the application, right? Application related questions, as a result of the application, you need to get the value of, you need to solve a quadratic equation. Then right, it is okay that you directly take it from the calculator. So what it should be? A value is 1. B value is 7, C value is minus 1470. Yes, x equals 35 or x equals minus 42. So we need to get the multiples of 7. Therefore, this answer, this minus value is not possible. not possible. So the answer should be 35. We need to get both numbers. So it is what? 35 and 40. 35 and 42. 35 x plus 7. 35 plus 7, 42. What is this? 7 into 5 into 7 into 6? I didn't get this one. 7 into 5. All right. 35 and 42. Okay. Hope you got it. Yes. And here, right, again, you will not get the complete mark. මෙතනත් සම්පූර්ණ value එක එන්නේ නැහැ. ඇයි එන්නේ නැත්තේ? Using an equation, find 2 multiple of 7. අපේ අන්තිම target එක මේක solve කරන එක නෙවෙයි. මොකක් කියන එකද? මෙන්න මේ condition එක satisfy වෙන මෙන්න මේ කියන හතේ ගුණාකාර දෙක කියන එක. Right here, this is not a complete, this is half complete answer. Right? Final answer should be what? Those two numbers are what? 35 and 42. 35 and 42. Right? Since this is a minus value, this we will not going to consider this one. So we are going to consider 35 as the answer. We got the value of x as 35. So therefore, the first multiple of 7 is 35. And the second multiple of 7, that is x plus 7, it should be 42. Right? This is half complete. Right. And if you got that one correct, and if you have stopped from this point, right? For the moment, we'll give 2 marks. This is from 5. For the moment, you can give 2 marks. And if you have completed this one, you got the final answer as 35 and 42, then allocate 5 marks. Right? 5 marks. Here also the same mistake. This is again a half complete one. Full answer, half complete one. You have solved the equation, but you have not got what they have asked for. Approach hari. Final answer right? Hope you got the mistake. Right. So we'll take a break. Right now the time is 9:30. Please come back by 9:50. Right, please come back by 9:50. We'll discuss the rest of the stuff after the break. Okay. Two, right? Question number 2. First 2 parts we have discussed. Part 3. Part 3. What it says here. A person is appointed to a post with an initial salary of 37,000 per month. Right? A person is appointed to a post with an initial salary of 37,000 per month. And with an annual increment of 800 rupees for the first 5 years. For the first 5 years, he is entitled for an annual increment of 800 rupees. And 1,200 rupees after first 5 years. For the first 5 years, the annual increment is 800. For the next, right, afterwards, those 5 years, the annual increment value is 1,200. Find the salary of that person in the 9th year of his service. Find the salary of that person in the 9th year of his service. What are better gila navaveni awurudde යාගේ පඩිය කීයද කියලා අහනවා. right? Now when so how can we find this? How can we find this? So how have you found part 3? 37,000 right? 37,000 into 12. Give me a second. Right? So 37,000 into 12, 444,000. Then 448,000. 445,600, 447,200. Okay, then so this is the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, and fifth year. Then in the sixth year, yes, 4,400, 448,200, 448,200, 4,409, 49,600, 450,800, 452,000. So this is the annual salary, right? Annual. 452,000. I'm also working on that. 37,666. Is it a geometric progression? And make a geometric progression. Can we identify any common ratio here? I don't think. Can we identify any common ratio here? Right? There is a pattern. Yes, there is a pattern. First, in the first year, right, monthly salary is 37,000. Then in the next year, monthly salary is 37,800. In the third year, monthly salary is 38,400. Likewise, there is a pattern. I'm not going to say this. What about the other student? Why have you considered this one? This is what I am not getting. Right? How it can be a geometric progression. Geometric progression and arithmetic progressions, you know the difference. When it comes to a arithmetic progression, there should be a common difference. If we take two successive terms, there is an equal gap. There is an equal gap. Or if we deduct the term on the right by if we deduct the term on the left by the term on the right, then we should get the same value for two successive terms. In a geometric progression, we should get what? Common ratio. Right? If we divide the term on the right by the term on the left, then right, we should get the same figure. If we consider two consecutive terms, and once we divide the term on the right by the term on the left, then we should get a common, we should get the same value, right? What we call the common ratio. Here, what we have, this is from what? Arithmetic progressions, the progressions in the geometric progression. If I take year 1, what is the monthly salary? 37,000. Year 2 monthly salary 37,800. Year 3, what is the monthly salary? 38,000. Annual increment of 800, no? 38,600. Fourth year, 39,400. So what you can see here, if you consider two successive terms, right? What is the gap here? that is plus 800, annual increment of 800. So what is this? This is what? A common difference. This is a common difference, D value. If there is a common difference, then it is what? It should be an arithmetic progression. It should be an arithmetic progression, right? Arithmetic progression, right? Here, how can we get the answer? Yes, right. Annual increment is 500. For the first 5 years, he gets an annual increment of 800. පළවෙනි අවුරුදු පහට එයාට annual increment එකක් හම්බ වෙනවා 800ක. පළවෙනි අවුරුදු පහ පුරාවටම annual increment එක 800. එහෙනම් අපි හොයන්න ඕන 6 වෙනි අවුරුද්ද පටන් ගනිද්දී මෙයාගේ monthly salary එක කීයද? Right? 6th term. Starting salary is 37,000 and he is entitled to an annual increment of 800 for 5 years, right? So after the 5 years, what is his salary? This is what we are going to find, right? So this is the 5th year, and here we are going to find the salary here. It means we are going to find the 6th term. How can we find that? How can we find that? Right. So how can we find that? A plus n minus 1d. N value is 6, n minus 1 means 5, 5d. The starting salary, the first term value is 37,000. 37,000 plus 5 into difference. Common difference is what? 800. So here, what should be the value? 800 into 5, 4,000. 4,000 plus 37,000, that is 41,000. That is 41,000. Right? ඒ කියන්නේ මෙන්න මෙතන value එක 41,000. අපිට ඕන කොතන value එකද? What is the value we need? From this year onward, what will happen? The annual increment value will be not 800. Now it will be what? 1,200. It will be 1,200. It will be 1,200. So we need to get the value in his 9th year. This is what we need to find, isn't it? This is what we need to find. So now, what will happen? From year 1 to this point, from year 1 to year 6, we had one particular pattern with a common difference of 800. But from this point onward, our common difference get changes. Common difference එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. Common difference එක දැන් 800 නෙමෙයි කීයක් වෙනවද? 1,200ක් වෙනවා. Right? So here, what we need to get? 9th year, right? We are here. We need to get the value here. So what we need to do then? What we need to do? Right? We need to get, how can I write that? You have expressed it here. Right. I will write it as T9. Right. That is what we need to find, right? Find the salary of that person in the 9th year of his service. In the first year of his service, 37,000. in the second year of his service 37,800. Likewise, we need to find his salary in the 9th year of his service. Now, how can we find this? How can we find this? ඔන්න අපි පොඩ්ඩක් ට්‍රැඩිෂන් එකකින් එහා පැත්තට යන්න හදන්න. අපි දන්නේ කොහමද? Tn equals a plus n minus 1d. අපිට ඕක ගෙඩිය පිටින් මෙතෙන්ට දැන් මෙතෙන්ට ඇප්ලයි කරන්න බෑ. ඇයි? common difference එක මැදදී මොකක් වෙලාද? common difference එක මෙන්න මේ point එකේදී වෙනස් වෙලා. right? එතකොට වෙනස් වෙච්ච point එකේ ඉඳන් ඉස්සරහටයි ගන්න. එතකොට දැන් අපි starting value එක විදිහට ගන්න වෙන්නේ අපිට මොකක්ද? මෙයා නෙවෙයි මොන value එකද? මෙන්න මෙයා. right? Now this should be our a value. right? මෙතන ඉඳන් ඇයි a value එක වෙනස් වුනේ? Now there is a different pattern. Right? Our pattern has changed. From this point to this point, there was only one pattern. There was, right, a single pattern. The common difference was the same. But from this year onward, we have a different pattern now. Now there is a different common difference. We are having a different common difference. Right? A common difference එක වෙනස් වෙලා. So here now the starting value අපි දැන් pattern එකේ අපි ආරම්භක value එක විදිහට අපිට consider කරන්න වෙන්නේ කීයද? Now it should be 41,000. 41,000. That is why initially we have got the 6th term value, right? Annual increment පහ ගියාට පස්සේ value එක අපි ඉස්සෙල්ලම ගත්තේ ඒකයි. එතකොට මෙතන ඉඳන් අලුත් pattern එකක් යන්නේ. ඒතර අලුත් pattern එකේ starting value එක 41,000. pattern එක වෙනස් වුණාට පස්සේ අපේ starting value එක 41,000. Here the value is 41,000. Plus මෙතන ඉඳන් අවුරුදු කීයක් ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕනද? මෙතන ඉඳන් අවුරුදු කීයක් ඉස්සරහට යන්න ඕනද? How many years? right? ඉතින් අපි මෙතන මෙන්න මේකේ T3 value එක හොයනවා කියලා කොහමද යන්නේ? A plus n minus 1d, 2d. Right? We need to go how many years further? Here, from this point to this point, 1 year. From this point to this point, another 1 year. So 2 years. Right? Two common differences we need to take into account. If we apply the same here, how many years further we need to go? මෙතන ඉඳන් මෙතෙන්ට යන්න ඕන එක අවුරුද්දයි. මෙතන ඉඳන් මෙතෙන්ට අවුරුදු 2යි. 8 ඉඳන් 9ට අවුරුදු 1යි, අවුරුදු 3යි. තව අවුරුදු 3ක් අපි ඉස්සරහට යන්න. So what should be the answer? 41,000 plus 3 into, now what is the new common difference? 1,200. So the final answer should be what? 44,600. 44,600. In the 9th year of his service, the monthly salary should be 44,600. This should be the final answer. Have you got it? Almost there. Right. But here in these sort of sums, you need to clearly mention. Therefore, but they have asked salary in the 9th year. Salary in the 9th year of service equals to rupees 44,600. Right. So here you have 3 answers, but at last you need to clearly mention what should be the final one. You are almost there, but I didn't get what is the purpose of this one. Applying this geometric progression, it is not applicable here because we don't have a common ratio, but we have a common difference. The only thing is that the common difference has changed in between. අපේ ගාන ඇතුලේ common difference එක වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙනවා. by common difference එක common ratio එකට convert වෙලා නැහැ. common difference එක වෙනස් වෙලා තියෙන එක විතරයි එක තමයි ප්‍රශ්නේ ඒ වගේ වෙනස් වෙලා තිබ්බොත් මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? අපි අලුතෙන් අලුතෙන් පැටර්න් එකක් පටන් ගන්න තැන වැලියු එක හොයා ගන්න ඕන. කිය අලුතෙන් පැටර්න් එකක් පටන් ගන්න මෙන්න මේ පොයින්ට් එකේ ඉඳලා. right annual increments පහක් ගියාට පස්සේ තැන ඉඳන් තමයි අලුත් පැටර්න් එක පටන් ගන්න. එහෙනම් right අපි හොයා ගන්න ඕන එතන වැලියු එක කීයද? අලුත් පැටර්න් එක පටන් ගන්න තැන වැලියු එක කීයද? That is why we have found the sixth term value. That was 41,000. So that will be the starting value of the second, right? Second set of numbers. Likewise, we can find the required value. $41,000 plus 2D. 2D Navy, right? See here. මෙහෙම ගන්න simple example එකක්. මෙහෙම pattern එකක් තියෙනවා. 10 12 14 16. මේ පළවෙනි term එක, මේ දෙවෙනි term එක, this is the third one and this is the fourth one. We need to get the fourth term value. මේ formulas ඔක්කොම අමතක කරන්න. Right? Forget about these formulas and all. How can you get this value 16? How? You need to consider the first term value. First term value is 10, right? For 10 you need to add, right? 10ට මොකක්ද වෙලා තියෙන්නේ? common difference එක කී පාරක් එකතු වෙලාද? common difference එක කී පාරක් එකතු වෙලාද? +2 කී පාරක් එකතු වෙලාද? 3 පාරක් එකතු වෙලා. common difference එක 2යි ඒක 3 පාරක් එකතු වෙලා. ওই විදියට තමයි 16 ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? First term is 10. ඒකට common difference එක 3 පාරක් එකතු වුණාට පස්සේ තමයි 16 ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ. The same thing I have applied here. First term is 41,000. First term is 41,000. ඒකට common difference එක 1,200 3 පාරක් එකතු වුණාට පස්සේ see here from 6th year to 7th year, 7th to 8th, 8th to 9th. How many times we have added the common difference? 3 times. දෙපාරක් ඇඩ් කරා නම් මොකක්ද දෙන්නේ අපිට? 8 වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ සැලරි එක. එක පාරක් ඇඩ් කරා නම් 7 වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ සැලරි එක. ඇඩ් නොකරම හිටියා නම් 6 වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ සැලරි එක. Right? Hope you got it. The answer should be 44,600. 44,600. That is part 3. Yes, that is part 3. If you got the final answer as 44,600, then give 5 marks, otherwise 0. Okay, final answer 44,600 num. Right, allocate 5 marks, otherwise 0. See here, the student has taken the 6th term value. 6th term value එක තමයි. 6 වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ පඩියනේ මේ අරන් තියෙන්නේ. Right? 6th term value 6 minus 1 කියලා කියන්නේ මේ 6th term value එක 41,000. And we know we need to get the T9th value. Right? So this will become the A value correct, but here, right? මෙතන අපි 5 minus 1 කියලා ගන්නවා කියලා කියන්නේ මේ අපි ගන්නේ right 11 වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ පඩිය. So here should be right 4 minus 1D. Right. 4 minus 1D. I'm delete karani. Here 41,000 6th year. 7th year, we will have a number here. 8th year, we are going to have a number here. 9th year, we are going to have a number here. So this is our new pattern. New pattern එකේ අපිට ඕන මොකක්ද මෙන්න මෙතන වැලියු එකනේ. අපි මේ 6 7 8 9 අමතක කළා. අපි ගමු මේක පළවෙනි එක. අලුත් pattern එකේ මේක දෙවෙනි figure එක. මේක තුන්වෙනි figure එක. මේක හතරවෙනි figure එක. අපිට දැන් අලුත් pattern එකේ හොයන්න ඕන මොන වැලියු එකද? 9 වෙනි පරණ එකේ 9 වෙනි අවුරුද්ද කියලා කියන්නේ අලුත් pattern එකේ කීවෙනි එකද? හතරවෙනි term එක. So we need to get the T4 value. How can we get that? A plus n minus 1d. So 4 minus 1d. So it is A plus 3d. A value is what? 41,000. Right? Plus 3 into, now what is the common difference? That is 1,200. 1,200. So you should get the answer as 44,600. Right? Okay. Then part 4. Part 4. Income from registration department of ATI Jaffna decreases every year by 10%. Registration income එක හැම අවුරුද්දෙම 110 ගානේ වැඩි වෙනවද අඩු වෙනවද? Is it increasing or decreasing? Is it increasing or decreasing? Ashani, is it increasing or decreasing? What? You are there, right? Malki? 110 ගානේ registration income එක වැඩි වෙනවා කියලාද කියන්නේ අඩු වෙනවා කියලාද? Right, okay, decreasing. Registration income එක annually 10% අඩු වෙවි යනවා. It means if they have earned 1,000 in the first year of right, in a particular year, in the following year it would be decreased by 10%, means yes, it would be 900. Yes, 900. පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ මොකක් හරි අවුරුද්දක 1000 නම් ඊට පස්සේ අවුරුද්දේ 900. ඊට පස්සේ අවුරුද්දේ තව ඒකෙත් 110ක් වඩා අඩු වෙයි. Of the income and it earned in the previous year, the income of that department in 2015 was 72,000 rupees. The income of that department in 2015 was 72,000 rupees. Find the expected income in 2020. In 2015, the registration income was 72,000 rupees. 72,000 rupees. Then what should be the registration income in year 2016? The registration income එක කීයක් වෙන්න ඕනද? What it should be? What it should be? 10% decrease should be there. Right? Their registration income decreases by 10%. Decreases by 10%. If it is so, what should be their registration income in year 2016? You go for your answers. Yes, that should be 64,800, right? It should be 64,800. And in the following year, it should be 58,320. In the next year, it should be right 52,488. Likewise, the pattern will be there, right? then we need to determine whether we have a common difference or a common ratio. So this time it is a percentage decrease. It a percentage ප්‍රතිශතාත්මක වැඩිවීමක් හෝ අඩුවීමක් තියෙනවා නම් අනිවාර්යයෙන් මෙතන තියෙන මොකක්ද? Common ratio එකක්. If there is a percentage increase or a percentage decrease, definitely there should be a common ratio. It should be a geometric progression. Right? So it is a geometric progression. This is a geometric progression. We need to get what? We need to get their expected income in year 2020. Right? We need to get their expected income in year 2020. 2020. කීවෙනි term value එකද හොයන්න ඕන? කීවෙනි term value එකද හොයන්න ඕන? Right? What is the term value we need to find? T කීයද හොයන්න ඕන? Is it T5 or is it T6? What should be the term value that we need to find? What you have got here? T6. T6. So what should be the term that we need to find? We need to get the T6 value. Right? ඔය years එක දෙද්දී හැමතිස්සෙම ගන්න කොහමද? මෙහෙම අපිට එකින් එක count කර කර යනවට වඩා මෙතන අපිට පුළුවන් මේක 1 මේක 2 this is 3 this is 4 this is 5 this is 6 therefore we need to consider T6. ඔක 2048 කියලා දුන්නා නම් 2048 කියලා දුන්නා නම් කොහමද ගන්න? Still are we going to calculate one by one? No, right? So how can we get it easily, especially when it related with this years and time? How can we get that? Here 2020 minus 2015, what is the value? That is 5. Always you need to add 1. 2020 minus 2015 plus 1. So 2020 minus 2015, 5 plus 1, that is 6. And what is the term value? What should be the term value there? That is what? 2048 minus 2015 plus 1. What it should be? 34. 34. It means to get the value in year 2048, we need to find the 34th term. We need to get the 34th term. Whatever years you think, one by one. So here we need to get the T6 value. T6 value. Yes. And we need to get the T6 value. So this is the formula. This is a geometric progression. So we can find the nth term value using this one. Tn equals a into r to the power n minus 1. Value of a. First year, the 2015 registration value. So that is 72,000. Common ratio, R value is what? Is it 10%? Is it 10%? R value, is it 10%? No, that is not. 10% decrease is there. 10% decrease is there. Right? 10% decrease ke liye kiyanne මොකක්ද? හැමතිස්සෙම 100ත් එක්ක compare කරන්න. Right? 100න් 100ට 10ක් අඩු නම් කීයද? 90. එහෙනම් common ratio එක කීයක් වෙන්න ඕනද? 0.9. මම මෙහෙම ගන්නවා. හැමතිස්සෙම 100ත් එක්ක compare කරන්න. 100 කියන්නේ ඔයාලගේ 100 නෙමෙයි 100 number 100 ද 100. Always compare with 100. I will write the percentage change here. Percentage change. If there is a 10% decrease of 10%, then what should be the new value? What should be the value after the change? That is 90. Then the common ratio should be what? 0.9. always compare with 100. If there is a 15% increase, 15% increase, what should be the new value? 100 plus 15, that is 115. So what should be the common ratio then? That should be 1.15. Right? If there is a 20% decrease of 20%, seeing විස්සක් 80යි. In a common ratio එක කීයද? 0.8. If there is an increase of 120%, 120% increase එකක් තිබ්බොතින්, what is the new value? So it should be what? 100ට 120ක් එකතු වුණාම 220යි. Common ratio එක 2.2. Right? 100 තියෙනවා හිතන්න 150 decrease 150 decrease එකක් 100ට 150ක අඩුවීමක්. What is the new value? 100න් 150 ගියාම පස්සේ value එක කීයද? ඍණ 50. What is the common ratio? Minus 0.5. This percentage change. Some students consider this as the common ratio. That is wrong. This is the percentage change. මේ ප්‍රතිශතාත්මක වෙනස විතරයි. ප්‍රතිශතාත්මක වෙනස අපේ common ratio එක නෙවෙයි. Common ratio එක වෙනස්. Right? 10% here, 10% decrease. That is the percentage change. So accordingly, the common ratio should be what? 0.9. Right? So here also in this sum, the common ratio is 0.9. Very correct. 0.9. So 0.9 to the power n minus 1, we need to get the sixth term value. So 6 minus 1, that is 5. So the final answer should be 42,515.28. 42,515.28. If you got your final answer as this, give 5 marks. Right? Give 5 marks. And it is, so rather than leaving it just like this, right, it is better if you can write. Therefore, the expected income in 2020 is 42,515.28 rupees. මේක මේ විදිහට කිව්වත් ලකුණු හම්බ වෙනවා ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෑ හැබැයි අර right gonna complete or invert clearly if you have mentioned what have they asked for. යාලා අපෙන් අහපු එක. පිට කියන්නේ find the expected income in 2020. Copy clearly in word. If we can mention that, that will be more clear and more complete. Still you will get the mark for this, but and that will be a more complete answer. Right? Okay, 42,000, yes. Again here also, if you can have it in word. Right? This is the expected income in year 2020. In rupees, this is the amount. Right? You can have a more complete answer. Then we'll move to question number 3. Question number 3. Due to water pollution, the fish in a large lake will reduce by 6% per annum. Right? Due to water pollution, the fish in a tank will reduce by 6% per annum. And then what they say, how long will it take in years for the number of fish alive in that lake to reduce exactly by half of the number existing currently? Due to a water pollution, what happens? The fish in a large lake will reduce by 6% per annum. හැම අවුරුද්දෙම කලින් අවුරුද්දට වඩා 106කින් ඉන්න මාළු ගාන මොකක් වෙවි යනවද? අඩු වෙවි යනවා. අපෙන් අහනවා how long will it take for the number of fish alive in that lake to reduce exactly by half of the numbers existing currently? දැන් මාළු 100ක් ඉන්නව නම් 106 ගානේ අඩු වෙවි යනව නම් මාළු 50ක් ඉන්නේ මාළු 50ක් විතරක් වෙන්නේ අවුරුදු කීයක් ගියාට පස්සේද මාළු 1000ක් හිටියනම් මාළු 500ක් ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ අවුරුදු කීයක් ගියාට පස්සේද right මාළු 50 නම් හිටියේ මාළු 25ක් වෙන්නේ අවුරුදු කීයක් ගියාට පස්සේද අර හරියටම භාගිකකින් අඩු වෙන්නේ අවුරුදු කීයක් ගියාට පස්සේද after how many years. That is what we need to find for. So what are the answers you got? This is question number 3, part 1. Is it 12 years? Right? Is it 12 years? What about others? Have you got the same? Question number 3, part 1, no answer here. Let's see the approach. Okay, first year there were X number of right fishes කියලා කියන්නේ. මෙච්චර මාළු ගානක් ඉඳලා තියෙනවා පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ. මේක භාගිකකින් අඩු වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ it should become half x, correct, or 0.5x, correct, right? So this is a geometric progression. Why? There is a percentage decrease. ප්‍රතිශතාත්මක වෙනසක් තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට ඒක කොහොමද මොකක් වෙනවද? Geometric progression එකක් වෙනවා. Right? Geometric progression is there. In a geometric progression, we can find the nth term value using this formula. Tn equals a into r to the power n minus 1. Right. So we need, if our first term value is x, we need to find the, right, we need to find when it becomes 0.5x. අපේ පළවෙනි term value එක x නම් මේක 0.5x වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? මොන අවුරුද්දේද? මෙන්න මේ n value එකයි හොයාගන්න ඕන. Right? So here we know the Tn. So the nth term value should be what? 0.5x. x බිඳුවයි දශම පහයි x වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? So we know the Tn value, that should be 0.5x. එහෙම නැත්නම් අපිට මෙයාව right අපිට 2x ගන්න පුළුවන්. 2x ගත්තොත් මෙයා x වෙන්න ඕන. දැන් අපිට 4x කියලා ගන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙනම් ඉතින් මෙයා 2x වෙන්න ඕන. හරියටම පළවෙනි අවුරුද්ද ගාන භාගයක් වෙන ෆිගර් එක තමයි අපේ Tn value. Nth term value should be that. If we consider the first term value as x, then the nth term value should be 0.5x. Correct. Then it should be equals to what? A into r to the power n minus 1. Here a, first term value is x. First term value is x. X into r to the power n minus 1. Right? R to the power n minus 1. 0.94. R value 0.94. Common ratio is 0.94. Hope now you know how to get this. 6% decrease ne. අපි හැමතිස්සෙම 100ත් එක්ක compare කරන්නේ. Right? Percentage change එක තියෙනම කීයද? 6% decrease, decreases by 6%. So the new value or the changed amount should be what? 100 minus 6 means 94. So the common ratio should be what? 0.94. 0.94 is the R value. To the power n minus 1, this is what we need to find. N minus 1. Correct. Right? So we can eliminate this x by dividing both sides by x. දෙපැත්තම x වලින් බෙදුවට පස්සේ මෙයාට මෙයා cancel වෙනවා, මේ x ට මේ x cancel වෙලා යනවා. So we left with what? I will take it like here. Year 1, year 2, year 3, year 4. We'll assume there were this number of fish at year 1. පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ මෙන්න මෙච්චර මාළු ගාණක් හිටියා. දෙවැනි අවුරුද්දේ දැන් මාළු කීයක් ඉන්නවද? Since our R value is 94%, how many fishes are there in year 2? There should be what? 0.94x. In year 3, in year 3, 0.94 ආය අඩු වෙනවා. 0.8836. 0.8836x. මේක මේ විදිහට ගිහිල්ලා මේක කවද්ද 0.5x වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? That is what we need to find. That is what we need to find. Right? So nth term of a geometric progression we can find by using this formula. Here now we know the nth term value. මේ term values නේ. අපි දන්නවා දැන් අපිට කීයද එන්න ඕනේ කියලා. අපිට එන්න ඕන කීයද? 0.5x equals to what is the first term value? That is x into r to the power n minus 1. R value is, right, this one into 0.94 to the power what? N minus 1. This is what we need to find. N minus 1. අවුරුදු කීයකට පස්සේද මේ කීවෙනි අවුරුද්දේද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අපි n විදිහටම තියාගත්තා. Right. Then, right, we can divide both these sides by x. So here x to x will get cancelled. Here also x to x will get cancelled. We will left with what? In the left hand side 0.5. In the right hand side 0.94 to the power n minus 1. Right? Now how can we find this one? Remember, if there is an unknown as a power value, බල අගයක් විදිහට unknown එකක් තියෙනවා නම්, variable එකක් තියෙනවා නම්, ඒක හොයාගන්න අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න වෙන්නේ මොකක්ද? බල අගයක් විදිහට 15 to the power n. බල අගයක් විදිහට අපි නොදන්නා අගයක් තියෙනවා නම්, නොදන්නා පදයක් තියෙනවා නම් මේ value එක හොයාගන්න අපිට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් tool එක මොකක්ද? What? That is logarithm. That is logarithm. That is logarithm. Right? So how can we apply logarithm here? Simply apply logarithm to the both sides. For the left hand side as well as for the right hand side. Right? Then you know, as per a rule of logarithm, we can express this one. We can express this one. Right? We can take this power value to the front. So it becomes what? N minus 1 into log of 0.94. Now divide both sides by log of 0.94. Log of 0.94. This one to this one we can cancel. Therefore, n minus 1 equals to what? Directly from the calculator you can take this answer. Log of 0.5 divided by log of 0.94. The answer is right. The answer is 11.2. 11.2. Take this -1 to the other side, it will become 12.2. If we rounded it off, it should be 12. Therefore, what we need to find number of fish alive. Number of fish alive in that lake to reduce exactly half of the year. Alive will be reduced exactly half of the numbers existing currently after 12 years. After 12 years. Right? අවින් අවුරුදු 12කට පස්සේ හරියටම දැන් ඉන්න මාළු ගාන වගේ භාගයක් විතරයි අපේ ඔය ලැබෙයි. That is the idea. Exactly half of the fish will be there after 12 years. දැන් ඉන්න මාළු ගාන වගේ හරියටම භාගයයි තව අවුරුදු 12කින් ඉන්නේ. That is what we have found. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right. Then we'll move to part 2. Right? Part 2. A person has lent 20,000 rupees at 10% rate of simple interest per annum and 35,000 rupees at 15% rate of simple interest for a period of 3 years. Two investments. 20,000 at 10% rate of simple interest and 35,000 at 15% rate of simple interest for 3 years. Calculate the expected total interest. This is easy. Simple interest wala total interest kahana mulu poliya. What is the formula? Capital I equals to P, principal into interest rate into number of years. Yeah. Principal 20,000 into interest rate 10% into number of years 3. 20,000 into 10% into 3, 6,000. The second investment 35,000. 35,000 into 15% into 3, 15,750 altogether. The total interest should be 21,750. 21,750. 6 marks. Very easy. 6 marks. For part 1 also 6 marks. For the part 1 also you need to allocate 6 marks. First one, question number 1. You means question 3 part 1. Question 3 part 1, right? Okay, question 3 part 1. Right, it says, again I'm here, right? Due to water pollution, the fish in a large lake will reduce by 6% per annum. Become year 1, year 2, year 3, right? Likewise. So here we have, assume we have 100 fishers name, right? We have 100 fishers. මාළු 100ක් ඉන්නවා. දෙවැනි අවුරුද්දේ මේක කියන අපිට 6% decrease එකක්. The number of fish in the tank in the lake will be reduced by 6% in each year annually. If it is so, right, if we assume, this is an assumed figure, if we assume there are 100 fishes in the tank right now, how many fishes will be there in year 2? දෙවැනි අවුරුද්දේ මාළු කීයක් ඉනීද? 106කින් අඩු වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ මාළු 94යි. තුන්වෙනි අවුරුද්දේදී මේකිනුත් තව 106ක් අඩු වෙයි. Right? And it will goes on like that. Year 4, year 5 likewise. ඔහොම මාළු ගාන අඩු වෙවි ගිහිල්ලා මේකේ භාගයක්. මේකේ භාගයක් කියලා කියන්නේ කීයද? Half of this means what? 50. අපේ ඔය right ඔය වැවේ ඉන්න මාළු ගාන 50ක් වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? මොන අවුරුද්දේද? This is what we need to find. මේ දැනට ඉන්න මාළු ගණන හරියටම භාගයක් වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? Right? In which year the number of fish alive will be exactly half of the number of fishes in this lake at current. දැනට ඉන්න ගාන හරියටම භාගයක් වෙන්නේ මොන අවුරුද්දේද? දැනට ඉන්න ගාන 100යි කියලා මම නිකන් assume කරේ. දැන් assume කරලා figure එකක් දැම්මේ. හැබැයි ඇත්තටම දැනට ඉන්න ගාන අපි මොකක්ද? අපි හරියටම දන්නේ නැහැ. Right? දැනට කී දෙනෙක් මේ lake එකේ ඉන්නවද කියලා we exactly don't know how many fish are there in this lake right now. So we need to assume it as x. ඔන්න අපි යාව x කියලා assume කරමු. Reduce exactly half of this means this should becomes what? This should becomes what? මේක හරියටම භාගකින් අඩු වෙනවා කියලා කියන්නේ x බෙදීම 2 කීයක්ද? 0.5x. Right? 0.5x. So x becomes 0.5x in which year? අවුරුදු කීයක් ගියාට පස්සේද x 0.5x වෙන්නේ? Right? That is what we are going to look for. Here, this is a percentage decrease. So this is a geometric progression. This is a geometric progression. In a geometric progression, how we can find the nth term? How we can get the nth term? That is a into r to the power n minus 1. A into r to the power n minus 1. So we need to find the nth term. For that, this is the formula we need to find. These are term values. මේ තියෙන term value එක පළවෙනි term value එක 100යි. දෙවෙනි term value එක 94යි. තුන්වෙනි term value එක 80 ගාණක් වෙන්නේ. මෙතනත් 81ක් 82ක් වෙන්නේ. ඔය විදිහට මේ තියෙන term values. Here also, since I am not knowing the value exactly, right? අපි ටැංකියේ මාළු කීයක් හිටියද කියලා හරියටම දන්නේ නැහැ. Therefore, we have assumed it as x. Still, this is what? These are term values. පළවෙනි term value එක x. x නම් දෙවෙනි term value එක වෙන්නේ නැති 0.94x. මෙතන 0.88 or something like that. x. Okay? Likewise, this is also what? This is also the term value. කීවෙනි term එකද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි මෙන්න මේ කියන term value එක කීයද? Term value is 0.5x. අපි tn කියලා දාගන්න term value එක දැන් arithmetic progression එකක් ගත්තොත් 2 4 6 8. If we need to find the fourth term value, what it should be? A plus n minus 1d, right? 2 into 3. So that is 8. 8 කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? 8 කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? That is T4 value. Likewise here Tn කීවෙනි එකද කියලා දන්නේ නැහැ. හැබැයි අදාළ value එක වෙන්න ඕන කීයද? 0.5x. This should equals to this one. Right? So 0.5x equals to, now what is the first term value? first term එක අපි දන්නේ නැති නිසා x කියලා දාගත්තා. එහෙනම් මේ pattern එකේ විදියට පළවෙනි term එකේ value එක x. R value, you know how to get that. If it is a 6% decrease, then the R value should be what? Common ratio should be 0.94. 0.94, right? N minus 1. After how many years? Years gonna done, we will keep it as it is, N minus 1. Right? So here, now what we can do? We can eliminate this x, right? For that, we can divide both sides by not 0.5 by x. දෙපැත්තම අපි x වලින් බෙදලා. එතකොට මෙයාට මෙයා cancel වෙලා යනවා. මෙයාට මෙයා cancel වෙලා යනවා. මෙතන අපිට ඉතුරු වෙන්නේ 0.5 විතරයි. In this side, we have 0.94 to the power n minus 1. Right? Then අපේ unknown එක තියෙන්නේ මොකක් විදියටද? අපි නොදන්නා පදයේ තියෙන්නේ power value එකක් විදියට. Right? The unknown is there as a power value. The unknown is there as a power value. So to find this unknown, if our unknown is as a power value, then to find that power value, to find that unknown, we need to apply logarithm. So we'll apply logarithm for the both sides. For the both sides. On the දෙපැත්තටම logarithm දාගත්තා. Right? Here, right, this argument is expressed as a power value. Argument is expressed as a power value. This one to the power this. So the same we should able to write as per the rules of logarithm. The same we can express like this. Right? ඔය power value එක අපිට ඉස්සරහට අරන් එන්න පුළුවන්. N minus 1 into log of 0.94. Then what we can do? අපිට n හොයාගන්න ඕන. n හොයාගන්න ඉස්සෙල්ලම දෙපැත්තම log 0.94 වලින් බෙදන්න. Log 0.94. So this one to this one we can cancel. Right? We will left with what? N minus 1. That will equals to what? 11.2. Directly from the calculator, we can take the answer. Right? This one divided by this. So the n value should be equals to what? 12.2. Since we have asked for a particular year, exact year, we can round it off and tell exactly after 12 years, x will become 0.5x. Right? The number of fish in this lake will reduce exactly to half of it after 12 years. Right. Part 2, right, we have already done, it is too easy. And part 3. Part 3. A person deposits 4,000 rupees at the beginning of each year for the next 5 years. Make දැක්කම මොකක් හරි දෙයක් මතක් වෙන්න ඕන. A person deposits 4,000 rupees at the beginning of each year for the next 5 years. Same amount at equal time gaps for a specific time period. සමාන මුදලක් සමාන time gap එකක් තුල නිශ්චිත කාලයකට deposit කරලා. This is what then? This is what? ඒ syllabus එකේ මොන area එකෙන්ද ටෙස්ට් කරලා තියෙන්නේ? Same amount at equal time gaps for a specific time period. So this is from which area? Okay. Yes, exactly. That is from annuities. वार्षिकය. සමාන මුදලක් සමාන කාල පරිච්ඡේද අතර නිශ්චිත කාල සීමාවක්. Right? Same amount at equal time gaps for a specific time period. So this is an annuity. At 12% rate of simple interest, find the total amount in this account at the end of the 5th year. At the end of the 5th year. Right. I will take your answers. At the end of the 5th year. At the end of the 5th year. This is part 3. First of all, tell me, are we going to find a present value or a future value? අපි මේ හොයන්න යන්නේ present value එකක්ද future value එකක්ද? What? We are going to, yes, we are going to find the future value. So what is the mistake this student has done here? Gani figures, formulas දිහා බලන්න කලින් මෙයා මේ ගාන කරපු වැරද්ද මොකක්ද? It here, but it cannot be an NPV value. අපි මේ net present value එකක් හොයන්න යනවා නෙමෙයි. එතකොට ගාන මෙතනින්ම මොකක්ද? වැරදි. Right? We are not going to find a net present value. We are not going to find a net present value. Right? Net present value කියලා කියන්නේ සුද්ධ වර්තමානගය. අපි වර්තමානගයක් නෙමෙයි මේ හොයන්න යන්නේ මොකක්ද? At the end of the 5th year, පස්වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ අවසානයේ කීයක් තියෙනවද පොතේ කියලා. Future value එක. Right. What about the other? Part 3. No, right? This is an annuity. This is an annuity. So this is also wrong. So take it here. So this is an annuity. Annuity එකේ අපි මොකද්ද හොයන්න ඕන? Part A, we need to find the future value. Future value of an annuity. Right? Future value of an annuity. What is the formula that we need to use? Future value එක කොහොමද හොයන්න පුළුවන්? Annuity එක. P over I into what? 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. This is how we can find the future value of an annuity. And future value of an annuity. අවුරුද්දකට එක වතාවකට වඩා compound වෙනවද? No. 12% rate. Right? Compounding වෙන්නේ නැහැ එක වතාවකට වඩා. So we can keep it as it is. No adjustment of f is required. Right. At the end of the 5th year, පස්වෙනි අවුරුද්දේ අවසානයේ, at the end of the 5th year, we need to find the total amount in this account. හැම අවුරුද්දෙම කීයක් deposit කරනවද? 4000 ගාන. Interest rate එක කීයද? 0.12. 12%. Right. 1 plus I value is 0.12. To the power n for how many years? At the end of the 5th year. At the end of the 5th year. Right? N value is 5 minus 1. Right. What is the answer you will get here? What should be the answer here? $25,411. Right? 25,411. So here there is one more thing. What? මේ 4000 deposit කරන්නේ කවද්ද? හැම අවුරුද්දෙම අගද හැම අවුරුද්දෙම මුලද? But it says a person deposits 4,000 rupees at the beginning of each year, right? At the beginning of each year. This is as of today. This is year 1, this is year 2, this is year 3, year 4. It goes like this. So at the beginning of each year, පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ මුල කියලා කියන්නේ කොතනද? Here 4,000. Right? දෙවැනි අවුරුද්දේ මුල කියලා කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ අග කියන එක. 4,000 here. 4,000 here. 4,000 here. Likewise, he is keep on depositing 4,000 at the beginning of each year. Right? මෙතන මේ විදියට අපි පස්වෙනි අවුරුද්ද වෙනකන් කන්සිඩර් කරලා තියෙනවා. මෙතන මේ එන 25,411 කියලා කියන්නේ මොකක්ද? What is this 25,411? That is what value? Right? That is what value? ඔතන ඔය 0 එකද 0 නැතුවද? 0 value එකත් එක්කද 0 year 0 වල value එකත් එක්කද ඔය කියන්නේ year 0 වල value එක නැතුවද? But year 0 වල value එක එක්කද year 0 වල value එක නැතුවද? නැතුව. Right? Without considering the year 0 in, right, in these sort of formulas they always consider what? At the end of the every year. N means after how many years? අවුරුදු කීයකට පස්සේද? අවුරුදු 5කට පස්සේ. After 5 years. Right? After year 1, after year 2. So this 25,411 means this total. Right? The future value of these deposits. මෙන්න මේ deposits වල future value එක තමයි 25,411 කියලා කියන්නේ. Right? 25,411. Right? But that is not exactly should be our final answer. Right? That should not be exactly our final answer. Why? We need to consider this one as well. මෙයාව මෙතන consider වෙලා නැහැ. එහෙනම් එයාවත් මොකක් කරන්න ඕනද? Consider වෙන්න ඕන. Therefore, right, what here we have asked for total amount at the end of 5th year. Total amount at the end of 5th year should be what? Total amount at the end of the 5th year should be what? What? $32,460. Right? මෙතන අපි මෙයා විතරක් ඇඩ් කළොතින් හරියනවද? මම බලන්නේ මෙයා එක දෙයිද කියලා. 25,411 plus 4,000 කිව්වොත් හරියද? නෑ. ඇයි? මේ 25,411 means the value here. මෙන්න මේ ඔක්කොංගෙම future values හෙව්වට පස්සේ මේ ඔක්කොංගෙම future values හෙව්වට පස්සේ මෙතන value එක තමයි 25,411 කියලා කියන්නේ. 4,000 තියෙන්නේ මෙතන at year 0. එහෙනම් මොකක් වෙන්න ඕනද? 4,000 අපිට මේ විදිහටම consider කරන්න බෑ. 4,000 මොකද්ද consider කරන්න ඕන? Future value. එයත් මෙන්න මෙතනට අරගෙන එන්න ඕන. Right? Then it should be what? 4,000 into, right, 1.12 to the power 5. So the final answer should be what? Final answer should be what? Yes, 32,460. 32,460. At the end of the 5th year, he should have 32,460 rupees in his account. First when අවුරුද්දේ අවසානයේ මෙන්න මෙච්චර amount එකක් එයාගේ account එකේ තියෙන්න ඕන. At the end of the 5th year. Part B. Yes, this answer is correct. 32,460. Right. But here the way you have defined it is wrong. This is not a net present value. This is a future value. This is anyway wrong. Right. If you got that one correct, if you got the answer as 32,460, allocate 4 marks. No, yes, 4 marks. And then part B, at the beginning of the 5th year. At the beginning of the 5th year means what? Api beginning year second deal karanne. At the beginning of 5th year means at the end of 6th year. At the end of, sorry, at the beginning of 5th year means at the end of 4th year. Right? At the end of 4th year. So 4,000 is the periodical payment. Rate is 12%. 1 plus 0.12 to the power n value should be 4 minus 1 equals what? $19,170. 19,170. Therefore, what should be the total amount? Total amount should be 19,117 plus 19,117 කියලා කියන්නේ මෙයා consider වෙන්නේ නැතුව. එතකොට එයාව අපි separately consider කරන්න ඕන. 4,000 into 1.12 to the power 4. So the answer should be what? 25,411. 25,411. Exactly what we have got here. So for part A, the final answer should be 32,460. For part B, the answer should be 25,411. 25,411. Right. Okay, so that is question number 3. Right, question number 3. So you can allocate the marks accordingly. For part 1, 6 marks, part 2, 6 marks, part 3, altogether 8 marks. Right. Okay, so we'll take another break. Now the time is 11 past 6. Please come back by 11:20. Right, take a break and come back by 11:20. Okay. Right. Question number 4. What it says here. A person invests 90,000 rupees and expects a return of 25,000 rupees from this investment at the end of first year. 90,000 invest කරලා පළවෙනි අවුරුද්දේ යාට return එක විදිහට 25,000 එයා expect කරනවා. 40,000 rupees at the end of the second year and 45,000 rupees at the end of the third year. So he invests 90,000 rupees and expects a return of 25,000 in year 1, 40,000 in year 2, and 45,000 in year 3. If the discounting rate is 15%, then determine whether this investment is profitable or not, right? What is the technique we need to use here? Net present value, right? We need to find the net present value. Net present value. Yes, in year 0, there is like it is better to have these headings, otherwise right we will not know it, right? These are years, these are cash flows, this is discount factor at what is the rate given? 15%, no? Discount factor at 15%, and these are the present values. So have those headings here about this one. Yes. So it is better if we can express that CF, cash flows, right? Discount. So this is discount, not discount rate, right? Discount rate is 15%. These are we call discount factor. Discount factor at 15%. It is discount rate එක තමයි 15% කියලා කියන්නේ. හැබැයි මේ අපිට ඕන discount rate එක නෙවෙයි. අපිට ඕන discount factor. Yes. To get the discount factor, we should know the discount rate, but these we call discount factor, right? And then the present values. So we should get a net present value of minus 8,470. Minus 8,421,030. What should be the correct NPV value? Is it minus 8,430 or minus 8,470? What it should be? Hari answer එක මොකක්ද දෙන්න ඕන? Minus 8,431, and don't let these silly mistakes to happen. Okay, this is addition, right? The answer should be minus 8,431. This is, although you have followed the correct step, correct procedure, still, right? This is wrong. Still, this is wrong. And here, what is the other mistake? Mistake final decision is not mentioned. Final decision. Here they have not asked us to calculate the NPV, but we know we need to calculate the NPV to decide whether it is profitable or not. So we need to clearly mention our decision, right? Whether this investment is profitable or not. Just like this, since NPV is less than 0, the project is right. Yes, we usually don't say that project is negative, the project is not profitable. Since the NPV value is negative, the project is not profitable. NPV value එක ඍණ නිසා නැත්නම් NPV value එක 0 වලට වඩා අඩු වගේක් නිසා project එක not profitable. The project is not profitable due to as NPV value is less than 0, or NPV value is a negative value, right? So that decision, the decision should be clearly mentioned. So here you are going to lose marks for that, right? Then part 2, a person wants to buy a TV set. It is marked price is 64,000 rupees and down payment is 16,000 rupees. TV එක ගන්න ඕන, TV එකේ මිල ගහලා තියෙන 64,000යි කියලා. හැබැයි අපි ගන්නව නම් ඒක down payment එකක් කරන්න වෙනවා 16000ක. He gets 1 year to settle the balance in monthly payments. ඉතුරු ටික කියලා කියන්නේ out right අර list price එකෙන් down payment එක කරාට පස්සේ the remaining 48,000 we need to settle within 1 year as monthly payments, right? As monthly payments. By considering charging rate as 12%, find the monthly installment. Monthly payment එකක් for 1 year. Same amount at equal time gaps for a specific time period. This is again what? Again an annuity. Again annuity එකක්. Monthly payment එකක්. එක සමාන මුදලක් මාසිකව අපි අවුරුද්දක් පුරාවට ගෙවන්නේ annuity. So what is the present value here? What should be the present value? Yes, 48,000, right? So we are going to find the present value of an annuity. After deducting the down payment, the present value becomes, right? The present value becomes 48,000. Sorry. The present value becomes 48,000. Periodical payment or monthly installment, this is what we need to find. And the rate they given as 12%, this is the annual rate. So how many times a year we need to do the payment? 12 times. So 12% needs to be divided by 12. So then it will become 0.01. Correct. Then 1 minus 1 plus R. R value is 0.01 to the power minus 12. Correct. Right. Accordingly, the periodical payment should be equals to what? 4,266.6. 4,266.6. Again, right, as a practice in words, have your final answer. Therefore, monthly installment equals 4,266.6 rupees. ඕක අපි clearly final answer එක පැහැදිලිව අපි වෙනම පෙන්නන එක තරමට හොඳයි. It is more clear there. More clear and more complete. Right. So the final answer for part 2 should be this one. Is this correct? Others? Yes, somewhere around 4,260. 4,260. Correct. Yes, present value. I over F. Right, I over F. මෙතනත් එහෙමනම් හැම දාන්න ඕන. I over F. Right, correct. Then part 4. Right, you allocate the marks accordingly. For part 1, 6 marks, part 2, 7 marks, and part 3 again 7 marks. In a private bank, interest rate is 18% per annum. A person wishes to invest a fixed amount at the beginning of each month and hope to collect 40,000 at the beginning of the 18th month of his investment. Find the monthly installment. Right? In a private bank, the rate is 18%. The rate is 18%. So what does this person do? This person is going to invest a fixed amount, right? Invest a fixed amount at the beginning of each month and hope to collect 40,000 at the beginning of the 18th month. Right? At the beginning of the 18th month. It means at the end of the 17th month. So you need to find the monthly installment. You need to find the monthly installment. Can we say NPV here? Can we say NPV? Others, are we going to find a present value? අපි මේ present value එකද හොයන්න යන්නේ නෑ right see hope to collect 40,000 at the beginning of the 18th month මාස 18කට පස්සේ හෝ කලින් හෝ වෙන දෙයක් මාස 18ක් එක link කළ කියන එකක් තියෙන්නේ so it should be a future value this 40,000 is what a future value so it can't be NPV here it should be right future value you can simply say FV right FV since right or else you can say NFV net future value no issue periodical payment over rate yes so this is the formula that you need to use 40,000 is the future value periodical payment is what we need to find rate is 18% correct 1 plus 0.18 to the power 18 yes මෙතන අපිට කියන්නේ at the beginning of the 18th month කියලා. හැබැයි ආයෙ මොකද්ද? මෙයා ඩිපොසිට් කරන්නේත් හැම අවුරුද්දෙම මුල. right? මෙයා ඩිපොසිට් කරන්නේත් හැම අවුරුද්දෙම මුල. එතකොට අපිට 18 කියලා අතනට කන්සිඩර් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මෙයා ඩිපොසිට් කරන්නේ හැම අවුරුද්දෙම අග නම් if this person deposits at the end of each month then here it should be 70. Here it should be 70. Since this person invests right at the beginning of each month then we can consider right here the n value as 80 so the final answer should be yes 385.64 385.64 yes you have approached it correctly but have not completed this right 1 plus I to the power n value is yes 18 minus 1 this is correct 385.64 that should be the monthly installment එයාට මාස 18ක් වෙද්දි මාස 18ට පටන් ගත්තීම එයාට 40000ක් කලෙක්ට් කරගන්න නම් එයාට හැම මාසෙම කීයක් ඩිපොසිට් කරන්න වෙනවද හැම මාසෙම රුපියල් 385.64ක් ඩිපොසිට් කරන්න වෙනවා that is the idea we'll move to part 5 using binomial theorem expand this one for this we need to have the Pascal triangle so it will looks like what Pascal triangle to the power 5 තියෙන්නේ so what should be the row that we need to consider 1 1 1 1 2 1 1 3 3 1 1 4 6 4 1 so this is the row that we need to consider 1 5 6 sorry 1 5 10 10 5 1 so this is what we need to use in expanding that given expression and yes 1 5 10 10 5 1 correct first term and the second term first term highest power value is 5 so then it will goes like 4 3 2 1 correct next term value is 1 so power 0 1 2 3 4 5 correct then here we have minus so plus now you have Ventron මෙතන අපි පළවෙනි term එක තමයි plus වලින් පටන් ගන්න. Plus then it should be minus here. Again it should be plus here. Again it should be minus, plus and minus. Here This is correct, right? Plus, minus, right? Here, minus, plus, again minus, right? Plus, minus, so here, minus, and plus, correct. So then we need to simplify it. This one, 32x to the power 5 minus, here it is 2 to the power 4 means the 16 to the 16 to 5 80 into x to the power 4. Now this is also wrong. You can't consider it as, right, you can't consider it as minus 1. So I will do this. This is what we need to expand. 2x minus, is it minus 5? 2x minus 1. 2x minus 1 the whole to the power 5. Right? From the Pascal triangle, we can get what? 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. If I am wrong, make me correct. 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. Is it correct? 1, 5, 10, 10, 5, 1. How it is correct? Then the first term is 2x, second term is 1. First term 2x, second term 1. 2x, 1. 2x and 1. 2x and 1. First term 2x, second term 1. So we are, right, we are starting with the highest power value, that is 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. With respect of the second term, we are starting with 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then here, within the brackets, we have a minus, right? So it should be what? I will use black. Plus, minus, plus, here, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus. Right. So once we simplify this one, 2 to the power 5 means 32. 32x. ඔන්න මෙයාව සුළු කරාට පස්සේ එනවා 32x. Minus here what? මෙයාව සුළු කරාට පස්සේ කීයක් එනවද? 2 to the power 4 means 16. 16 into 5, 80. So it should be minus 80x. Plus, what about this one? 2 to the power 3 means 8. 8 into 10, 80. Right? So it should be 80 x to the power 3, see here, minus 80 x to the power 4. X to the power 4 here, plus 80 x to the power 3. This one, 2 to the power 2 means 4. 4 into 10, 40. So it is minus 40 x squared. Minus 40 x squared. This one, 2 into 5, 10. So it is 10x. 10x. So here it should be 32x to the power 5. 32x to the power 5. And the last one, it should be what? Minus 1 into 1 should be minus 1. So this should be the final answer. Question 4 part 3. Question 4 part 3. Right, okay, I will come back to question 4 part 3. For question number 5 part 1, this should be your final answer. 32x to the power 5 minus 80x to the power 4 plus 80x to the power 3 minus 40x squared plus 10x minus 1. Right. So this should be your final answer for question number 5 part 1. What is there in question number 4 part 3? In a private bank, interest rate is, yes, 18% per annum. Yes. Right. This answer is wrong. Good. This is wrong. Why? 18% means the annual rate. Per annum rate is 18%. But here we consider it what? On monthly basis. We need to get the monthly installments. So we cannot consider it as 18 here. See, there is a mismatch. Mismatch. May 18% again, this is annual rate, right? This is annual rate, but 18 is in months. Metana tiyenne masa walin, metana tiyenne mokende awurudu walin. Mismatch එකක් තියෙනවා. So this is wrong. So what should be the correct answer? Take it here. 40,000 should be equals to, right, 0.818 over 12. What it should be? 0.015. 0.015. 1 plus 0.015 to the power 18 minus 1. 40,000 equals, what is the value inside? 0.3073. 0.3073. Therefore, value of P should be equals to what? 40,000 into 0.015 divided by 0.3073. $1,952.49. Is it what you got? 2039. Right, the answer should be this one. Here, in the normal circumstances, see here, we need to get the value of at the beginning of the 18th month. At the beginning of the 18th month means at the end of the 17th month. අපිට මෙන්න මේ ඩිපොසිට් එක අපි මේ ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන amount එක හැම අවුරුද්දෙම හැම මාසෙම අගණන් කරන්නේ අපි මෙතන කන්සිඩර් කරන්නේ කීයද 70 at the end of the 17th month කියන එක, right? But here this person wishes to invest a fixed amount at the beginning of each month. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා අද ඔය කියන ගාන ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරනවා beginning of each month. පළවෙනි මාසෙ ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න ඕන එක අද ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න. දෙවෙනි මාසෙ ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න ඕන එක, right? පළවෙනි මාසෙ අග නැත්නම් දෙවෙනි මාසෙ මුල ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න. So that is why we have considered it as 18 here, because he invests at the beginning of every month. At the end of every month, here we need to consider it as 70. Right. Okay. Then question number 5, part 2. This is very easy. A student wants to select 8 questions out of 10 questions and answer for an examination. ප්‍රශ්න 10ක් තියෙනවා. 8කට උත්තර ලියන්න ඕන. If first 3 questions are compulsory. පළවෙනි ප්‍රශ්න 3 අනිවාර්යයි. දැන් මෙයාට ප්‍රශ්න කීයක් ඉතුරු වෙලා තියෙනවද? If the first 3 questions are compulsory, then there are 7 more questions. Out of that 7 questions, how many questions he can select? ප්‍රශ්න 8කට ලියන්න ඕන. පළවෙනි 3 අනිවාර්යයි. නම් තව ප්‍රශ්න කීයක් ලියන්න ඕනද? 5ක් ලියන්න ඕන. 5ක් ලියන්න ප්‍රශ්න කීයක් විතරද තියෙන්නේ? ප්‍රශ්න 7ක් විතරයි. So out of the remaining 7, he need to select 5. So the answer should be what? 7C5. 7C5. 21 ways are there. 21 ways are there. See again, right? You know how to get this answer, right? You know all the things, but when it comes to the final answer, this is wrong. 7C5, it should be 21, isn't it? So these are the mistakes you do, exact mistakes you do in the exam. Yes, it is 21. අමාරුම hurdle එක පනිනවා. අර lazy. චූටි ගල් කැටයක හැප්පිලා වැටෙනවා. Don't let this to happen. Right? Okay. So part 2, the answer should be 21. Then part 3, limits. Limits. First, we need to substitute 3 and see whether we are getting a particular answer. Yes, first we need to substitute 3 and see that we are getting the answer here. This is not completed. No? Yes, we are getting the answer as 0/0. Then you need to mention it as, right, indeterminate form. බිඳුව බෙදීම බිඳුව කියලා කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම අර්ථයක් නැහැ. ඒ නිසා අපි මේක mention කරන්න ඕන specifically that this is the answer if we directly substitute the given limiting value, right? For this function, the answer will be in indeterminate form. Indeterminate form නිර්ණය කරන්න බැරි ආකාරයකින් තියෙන්නේ කියලා අපි mention කරන්න ඕන. Then what we do? Then we need to use factorization to simplify this. We need to use factorization, right? So these are quadratic expressions. So we can factorize them. Yes. In the numerator, we will have, in the numerator, right? In the numerator, we can have x minus 4 into x minus 3. මෙන්න මෙයාව factorize කරාම අපිට එන්නේ මොකක්ද? x minus 4 into x minus 3. Right? And once we factorize this one, the denominator, x squared minus 5x plus 6, we should get the answer as x minus 3 into x minus 2. So x minus 3 into x minus 2 we can cancel, right? X minus 3 into x minus 3 we can cancel. We will left with what? X minus 4 divided by x minus 2. Now, instead of x, we can substitute the given approaching value, which is 3, right? 3 minus 4, that is what went wrong? Still, this is wrong. What went wrong here? Yes, it should be minus, right? Not only this student, right? I know most of you are doing the same mistake. So don't let these mistakes to happen. That is why I have chosen your answers to discuss this. These are the mistakes you are doing. Right? In terms of limits, you have, right, 100% correct. අපි limits ගණන් හදන්නේ approaching values හොයන්නේ කොහොමද කියන එක හොඳටම දන්නවා. Right? Even how to factorize these quadratic expressions, you know. All the things you know, right? If it is in the indeterminate form, then using factorization, you can solve this. That stuff you know, but this one, right? 3 minus 4 is not plus 1, that should be minus 1. So -1 divided by 1, the answer should be what? It should not be +1. This is wrong. It should be what? -1. The final answer should be -1. See? මුලින් ඉඳන් අච්චර අපි ටයිම් එකක් අරගෙන හදාගෙන ආවට වැඩක් නැහැ. අන්තිම ආන්සර් එක මොකක් කරාද? Well. So don't let these mistakes. These are very minor mistakes, but affect. This affect. Your final answer is wrong. අන්තිම උත්තරේ වැරදි. හරියට මාස ගානක් අවුරුදු ගානක් පාඩම් කරලා මහන්සි වෙලා පාස් පේපර්ස් කරලා ඔක්කොම කරලා exam එක ගිහලා නින්ද ගියා වගේ වැඩක්. Don't let these mistakes happen. Then the other one, part B. When this is approaching to infinity, what we need to do? First, we need to determine the variable with the highest power. That is here, in this case, that is what? X squared. Then what we need to do? Each and every term we need to divide by x squared. Yes, each and every term we need to divide by x squared. Each and every term, 3x squared need to be divided by x squared. 7 need to be divided by x squared. 2x squared need to be divided by x squared. 5x need to be divided by x squared. 1 needs to be divided by x squared. So here, once we simplified it, we'll get something like this. 3 minus 7 over x squared over 2 plus 5 over x plus 1 over x squared. Now we can substitute, right? The value of x is infinity. So here, 7 divided by infinity. 7 divided by infinity. Any whole number divided by infinity, what should be the value? ඕනම සංඛ්‍යාවක් අනන්තයෙන් බෙදුවට පස්සේ උත්තරේ කීයද? බිඳුවයි. So here it is 3 minus 0. Any number divided by, here it is not 0, right? It should be infinity. Infinity. එතන බිඳුවෙන් නෙවෙයි. අපි මේ ගානේ කියන්නේ when x is approaching to infinity. When x is approaching to infinity, not 0. Right? So here it should be infinity. It should be infinity here. Right? So anyway, the final answer should be like this: 3 minus 0 over 2 plus 0 means again 2. So the final answer should be 3 over 2, or else 1.5. 1.5. Right. 1.5 or 3 over 2 should be the answer for part 3B. Right. The fourth one. In a certain production, demand curve is given in this, right? Here they have given us the demand function, demand curve. And the supply curve is also given, demand and supply, where P is the price and Q is the quantity. Obtain the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. සමතුලිත මිල සහ ප්‍රමාණය දැනගන්න ඕන. කොහොමද හොයන්නේ? This is econ actually. How can you find the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity? Demand එකයි supply එකයි සමාන වෙන තැන මිල අපි කියනවා equilibrium price එක, සමාන වෙන තැන quantity එක අපි කියනවා equilibrium quantity. So we need to make these two functions equal, right? We need to make them two equal. Oh, what you have done here? Q squared minus, yes, correct. Q squared minus 14Q, right? Q squared minus 14Q plus 200, that is the demand function, should equals to the supply function. So once you solve this is also not complete. Tell me whether these answers are correct. Q equals minus 25 and Q equals 6. What am I going to වැරදි කියන්න? මෙයා වරද්දලා තියෙන දැන් කියන්න මට. Where does this student has gone wrong? Yes, equilibrium price and quantity. If we need to find the equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity, we need to make these two functions equal, right? Demand should be equals to supply. So that is correct. Q squared minus 14Q plus 200 should equals to 5Q plus 350. Then take this 5Q, it will become minus 5Q. Take this 350, it will become minus 14Q minus 5Q. But these are very simple things, right? $25 and minus 6. Okay, the first thing here, I will make this as the base answer. Right here, what is the first thing this student has done wrong? It is here, right? So here, see, this is correct. Yes, this is minus 14Q. Minus 14Q minus 5Q, that is minus 19Q. Okay, this is correct. This is correct. So the answer should be A value is 1, B value is minus 19, C value is minus 150. Yes. Answer should be what? Minus 25 plus 25. It should be plus 25 or minus 6. Q equals 25 or Q equals minus 6. Or your answers take in. Etanat bakran non. Apilian non mukad. Here the answer should be right. Q equals 25 or Q equals minus 6. And here we need to specifically mention that this answer is not possible. So this is not possible. Therefore, what should be the final answer? 25. Therefore, equilibrium quantity should be equals to 25 units. You need to specifically mention that. Right? And what is the other mistake? Anit karpu mistake එක මොකද්ද? Anit mistake එක මොකද්ද? Equilibrium quantity එක ඒකත් හරියට හොයලා නැහැ. අනිත් mistake එක මොකද්ද? Equilibrium price එකත් අපෙන් අහනවා. Price එක අහනව නේද? Yes, both. Obtain equilibrium price and equilibrium quantity. Yes. Right? The price is not there. Need to find the price as well. Yes. Q equals 25. Better, right? You better not only for this one, in each and every one. It is clear that you have mentioned it using word. The equilibrium quantity is 25 units. Again, this student also has done the same mistake. Quantity එක හොයාගෙන හැබැයි අනිත් මොකක් හොයලා නැද්ද? Equilibrium price එක හොයලා නැහැ. You need to get the equilibrium price as well. What should be the equilibrium price then? 475 rupees. 475 rupees. Taking like this, P equals 5Q plus 350. Instead of Q, I am going to substitute 25. So it should be what? 475. 475. 475. Therefore, equilibrium price equals 475 rupees. It is more complete there. Right? So here, both these students, this one, right? You know how to get this answer, but because of the ignorance, you easily lose half of the marks. We'll move to the last one. So we have differentiating these things, right? You know, let's check. Yes, first, so this is what? Product rule. First, you have considered the first group as it is, then you need to multiply it by the differentiation of the second group, 2x minus 5. Then add now the second group as it is, differentiation of the first group, 4x. Correct. Then you can simplify this further. Right? 2x into 2x squared, 4x to the power 3. 2x into 3 plus 6x. Minus 5 into 3 minus 15 minus 5 into 2x squared minus 10x squared. Correct. Here 4x into x squared, 4x to the power 3, 4x into minus 5x minus 20x, yes, 8x. 8x to the power 3 minus 30x squared plus 14x minus 15. This is correct. This is correct. This should be the answer for part 1A. 8x to the power 3 minus 30x squared plus 14x minus 15. This is correct. Then part B. Right, here we need to use what? Here we need to use the chain rule. Chain rule. Multiply it by the power value, deduct 1 from the power, it will become 4, and multiply by the differentiation of the terms inside. So it will become 3. So the final answer, this is correct. It should be 15 into 3t plus 5 the whole to the power 4. This should be the final answer. Correct. Then part C. Part C. Here we need to apply what? The quotient rule. Quotient rule. This element, we need to spare the denominator. Yes, correct. We need to spare the denominator. Denominator ka spare kara. Was the denominator ka udata rangena. X squared plus 4 into differentiation of the numerator, that is 2x. Correct. Minus numerator as it is. Right? Is it? Is now you point out where this student has gone wrong. Here it should be what? It should not be 2x squared. Api metana consider karanne mokakda? Numerator as it is. Numerator is what? X squared minus 4. So we need to consider it as it is here. It should be x squared minus 4, not 2x squared. It should be x squared minus 4 into differentiation of the denominator. Denominator ke differentiation ekama 2x. That is correct. But here, because of this mistake, the whole answer is wrong. Right? The whole answer is wrong. That mistake continues, right? 2x, yes. Oh no, here you have make it correct, right? මෙතන mistake එක මෙතෙන්දි කොහොම හරි මොකක් හරි හේතුවකට මගේ ඇදලා තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් 2x into 2x squared, it should be 4x to the power 3, you know. But here you have considered it as 2x into x squared, 2x to the power 3. So this is correct. This is correct. 2x into x squared, 2x to the power 3, 2x into 4, that is 8x, minus, yes, 2x into, yes, correct, correct. So the final answer should be this one, 16x, yes, 16x over x squared plus 4 the whole squared. This should be the final answer. But remember, although here your final answer is correct, since you have done a mistake here, you are not, again, you are not going to get the full marks. Although you have got the final answer correct, you are not going to get the full marks. Right? That is part C. Right. The last two. Part 2. In a certain production, cost function is given and the revenue function is also given. Where Q is the production level, calculate the production level at break-even points. What we need to do? We need to make those two equals. And we need to make those two equals. It is bit blurred. Yes, total revenue should be equals to total cost. Total revenue should be equals to total cost. Yes, this time you have mentioned it correctly. Not possible, but I doubt whether this answer is correct. Okay, cost function is correct. 7q plus 10, 14q minus q squared also okay. 7q minus q squared minus 10, correct. So what should be the values here? 2 and 5, isn't it? The answer should be 2 and 5. (16x over) I didn't get that. 16x over x squared plus 16. X squared plus 16 වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මෙයා අපි තව සුළු කරනවා නම්. We take it here. 16x over x squared plus 4. This is what we have got, right? If we need to further expand this, what we need to do? It should be what? X squared plus 4 the whole squared. මෙයාම expand කරන්න ඕනේ. ඒකට කොහොමද කරන්නේ? පළවෙනි term එකේ වර්ගය. පළවෙනි term එක තමයි x squared. මෙයාගේ වර්ගය. එතකොට කීයක් වෙනවද? X to the power 4. ඊට පස්සේ first term into second term into 2. X squared into 4, that is 4x squared. 4x squared into 2, that is plus 8x squared. Then the square of this last term, it means 4 squared, that is plus 60. It's also correct. You can do. Right. Have you got this one? මේක අපිට තව සුළු කරලා ගන්න පුළුවන් නම් ප්‍රශ්නයක් නැහැ. This is also correct. හැබැයි සුළු කරන එක අපිට we can't just say x squared plus 16, so we should able to simplify it correctly. Okay, and here right, why you think this student has got these answers wrong? ඇයි මෙයාට මේ answers වැරදිලා තියෙන්නේ? එන්න ඕන මොකක්ද answers විදියට? Either x should be equals to 2 or x should be equals to 5. මේ quadratic equation එක විසඳුවම answers විදියට එන්න ඕන x වලගේ එක්ක 2යි එහෙම නැත්නම් 5යි. ඔය values දෙකකින් එකක් 2 or 5. But here this student has got it as 1.264 minus 1.12. Why you think that student has gone wrong? මෙයා හරි. This equation is correct. මෙයාගේ මේ equation එක හරි. මෙයාගේ equation එක හරි. හැබැයි විසඳපු විදිය වැරදි. ඒ නිසා උත්තරේ වැරදිලා. ඇයි මෙයාට වැරදුනේ? Because the same thing can happen to you as well. Why? Because this student has not arranged this quadratic equation in its standard form. Yeah, standard form එකට arrange කරගෙන නැහැ. Standard form එක මොකක්ද? Right. What is the standard form? Ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. This is the standard form of a quadratic equation, right? But this is not, this is correct, right? Equation wise this is very correct, but right, when feeding this data to the calculator in here we හරියට arrange කරගත්තා නම් කොහොමද දෙන්නේ? minus q squared plus 7q minus 10 equals 0. එතකොට අපි a value එක අපි දන්නවා කීයක් වෙන්න ඕනද? minus 1. b value should be 7 and c value should be minus 10. But here, right, this student has kept it as it is. 7q minus q squared minus 10 equals 0. එහෙනම් මෙයාට මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ නැත්තේ? a එක a value විදිහට මෙයා ගන්න නැත්තේ 7. වැරදි. b value විදිහට මෙයා ගන්න නැත්තේ minus 1. That is wrong. C value විදියට ගන්න නැති minus 10. This is wrong. But because of this, the final answer will be wrong. That is why it is better to rearrange it in a standard form of a quadratic equation. Then you can clearly see what are the A, B, and C values. Right? And the last one. Using integration, find the area under the curve y equals x squared plus 3 from x equals 1 to x equals 3. That is what? Finite integrals, right? First we need to integrate. This is correct. X squared plus 3. Upper value is 3, lower value is 1. Yes, first we need to substitute this 3 into 3, so 27 over 3 plus 9 minus, yes, lower value. Now what is the mistake? මෙතන වෙලා තියෙන වැරද්ද මොකක්ද? අපිට මෙහෙම cancel කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? Here, look at this part. Can we cancel this 3 to this one? Can or can't? පුළුවන්ද බැරිද? පුළුවන්ද බැරිද? මේ තුන cancel. හරි. තුන මේක හරි. 1 over 3 plus 3. That is correct. But can we cancel this 3 to this one? We can't. Why? Because here what we have? Addition. Right? මෙතන multiplication එකක් තිබ්බනම් yes we can. මෙතන 1 over 3 into 3 කියලා තිබ්බනම් yes 3 to 3 we can cancel. Since we have addition here, we cannot cancel these two. Right? We can't do that. So what should, once we simplify this part, 1 over 3 plus 3, what should be the answer? මෙන්න මේ part එක සුළු කරාට පස්සේ answer එක කීය දෙන්න ඕන? කීයද? 1 over 3 plus 3. But 1 over 3 plus 3, what it should be? 3.33, isn't it? Yes, 3.33. The answer should be 3.33. 4 උනේ කොහොමද? භාග සුළු කිරි. මෙතනින් ලියන්න. මම දන්නවා 4 උනේ කොහොමද? 3 plus 1 4 කියලා ගත්තද? 1 over 3 plus 3. මෙතන මේ පේන්නේ නැතුව යට තියෙන වැලියු එක කීයද? මේ පේන්නේ නැතුව යට තියෙන වැලියු එක කීයද? 1යි. මෙතන මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕන? ඩිනොමිනේටර්ස් දෙන්නම සමාන කරගන්න ඕන. මේ දෙන්නම සමාන කරගන්න ඕනනේ. right? එතකොට මෙතන 1 plus මෙයා 3ක් වෙන්න නම් මොකද වෙන්න ඕන? මෙයා 3න් වැඩි වෙනවා. මෙයා 3න් වැඩි වෙනවා නම් උඩ ඉන්න එක්කෙනා 3න් වැඩි වෙන්න ඕන. 3 into 3 9. So it is what? 9 plus 1 10. 10 over 3, that should be 3.33. පහවසරේ 6 වසරේ අච්චුපතක් බලන්න ගණන්. එතකොට හරි. ඔව් වෙනවා මෙයා. Right? So 12 minus 3.33. මෙතනත් වැරදි නේද? 27 divided by 3, that is 9. 9 plus 9, that is 18. It should be 18. 18 minus 3.33, the answer should be 14.67. Right? 14.67. For the last part, the answer should be 14.67. වැඩිපුරම වරදින්නේ මොන තැන්වලද? Mainly, right, on the simplifications. Yes, we have learned differentiation, integration, limits, and all these stuff, right? And you know how to do these things, but most of the time where you go wrong is what? Simplifications, right? These kind of areas. Okay, so now the time is 12:30. We'll stop from this, right? So we'll meet on this Thursday is a holiday, right? So we'll meet on next Tuesday. Right. Okay then. Anything that you need to clarify? Anything? Nothing, right? You may feel hungry now. Okay, so we'll